Is it worth paying for extremely expensive food? Suddenly, the question that comes to mind is, am I doing something wrong by making this video? Many people have already seen what this video is about, but honestly, it's not meant to speak badly about these two places. Rather, I want to understand at what point it's okay to pay a lot of money for a plate of food that we really know can't cost that much. About a month ago, videos surfaced from Chinese factories showing products from exclusive bag and clothing brands, claiming they manufactured them and only the brand houses added their labels to sell them at exorbitant prices. For example, the Hermes Birkin bag that costs up to $30,000. In the video, you can see that China produces or assembles it for only $1,000. This didn't create problems in the fashion world, since the percentage of the population that can afford a bag at this price is only 1% of the world's population. What these videos did accomplish was making part of the population ask themselves, is it really worth paying so much money for products like shoes or pants just because they have a trendy brand when you need them? The truth is that in the United States, this is already changing. If we observe how the population dresses, most young people and not so young people are already switching from ostentatious clothing to more comfortable, brandless garments. Very few people care about brands anymore. Instead, youth and mature adults are seeking experiences that bring them happiness rather than luxury, since they can see and feel that, and they can see luxury daily on social media. They're no longer interested in seeking status through fashion. By saying this, I'm trying to explain that the population is shifting luxury and happiness from having things to experiencing them. This is why famous influencers go to France and enter famous expensive restaurants to show the population that they can take them to those experiences, because maybe they'll never be able to set foot in such places. But what does all this have to do with the title of this program called, Is It Worth Paying for Extremely Expensive Dishes That We Know We Can Eat Elsewhere at 1/3 of the price? Before entering the dilemma of whether it's right or wrong, what I'd like is to open a discussion to understand the phenomenon. I'll give you two examples, and I'd like you to help me understand and reach a truth rather than judge this video. So here's what I'm getting at. We're on a culinary tour of downtown Austin restaurants, and we've encountered two examples of this phenomenon that I'll mention next. First example, Mason's Famous Lobster Rolls. The first is a place called Mason's Famous Lobster Rolls, located in the heart of downtown Houston on 2nd Street. We entered the place and ordered a famous lobster roll. The price was on the wall, and we paid it to try it, as we do at all the restaurants where we eat. We ordered the classic roll and a mineral water, which came to $25 plus the tip for the guy who only types in the dish and brings it to you less than 2 feet from where you're going to eat it. The minimum they put on the screen is 15%, so it was $30 total. We said, well, we have to try it. The surprise came when a sandwich arrived that was 5 inches long with crab. It wasn't even lobster, it was crab. With a pickle, a lemon wedge, and that's it. For $30, I said to myself, I ate it because obviously I wasn't going to leave it, and even less make a problem in a restaurant where there was no one but me as a customer and 3 people in charge of it. At that moment, I understood why I was the only customer. But that's not the point. What I want to understand is whether this type of place should exist, or why they exist. since this place is a franchise with more than 33 restaurants throughout the United States. I don't know how many people in the United States can pay $30 for a little sandwich. Second example, Revolution Restaurant. The second place has a name that gets under the skin of people from Mexico, Revolution. The word revolution is supposedly a powerful term used to describe profound, rapid, and often radical changes in the social, political, economic, or cultural structures of a society. Although commonly associated with armed uprisings and political transformations, its meaning is broader and encompasses various areas of human development. But if the word revolution means that, why doesn't the restaurant called that reflect it? If you go to the downtown Austin branch, all you find are extremely expensive dishes and juices for what they are. A juice for $13. Is that really what it's worth? The next thing is that I decided to order a tamale dish. My surprise was when this dish arrived, a small-sized tamale with a little cup of rice and a little cup of beans for the price mentioned earlier. The proposition is that you think the pork in the tamale must speak 3 languages and have royal lineage, right? Well, no. You can only choose 2 flavors, cheese or mushrooms. My question is, since when is a vegetable tamale more expensive than a meat one? But the issue isn't the price. The price isn't that expensive for the United States. The problem is the size of the plate. Not even Happy Meal portions are as small as that little plate from a place that calls itself Revolution, where everything is extremely expensive and only people with means can attend and eat. The core question. The question is it okay for places like this to charge so much for food that can be bought for much less money elsewhere? I know many will comment that I'm envious and can't afford such exclusive places, but my question is, aren't we supposed to be living in a world that's evolving in every sense? Supposedly, with humanity's advancement and regarding food, fewer and fewer people are dying of hunger, and more people have access to more nutritious products at better prices, right? So why do places like this exist, where they charge you $30 for a small bread with crab instead of lobster? Is it a matter of luxury and experience, where some can pay and others never will? I'd like you to clear up this doubt for me, because I can't find logic in entering a place like this. What's the magic of paying $13 for a juice? I understand that many might tell me that paying rent for a place like downtown Austin can be expensive, and the place has to survive. But does a place like this really need to exist? Why is food becoming so expensive in the United States, where it was supposedly something everyone could access? I understand the purpose of a Michelin-starred restaurant or a luxury restaurant and why they do it. I understand that a renowned chef gains reputation for their exclusive food and charges what they charge because they make wonderful dishes that no one else could create and use expensive products for their dishes. That's why they charge what they charge. I also understand that if you save for a year, you can have access to that restaurant to experience it. But in the case of a cafeteria that calls itself Revolution without being revolutionary, charging $13 for a 2-inch tamale, I don't know if that's something that will give me a satisfying life experience. Conclusion. This isn't meant to be a complaint video. Rather, it aims to reach the truth, to an understanding that maybe my vision about these expensive commonplaces should exist, since the sun rises for everyone. If there are people who go and pay $13 for a tamale, there's nothing wrong with that. and I can go buy tamales at La Michoacana, where I can buy 12 tamales for $13. But please tell me, is it correct, or am I not so wrong in thinking what I think in this video? Tell me, should people do something about it? Like stop going to these places? Or will the market itself take care of doing its job and close these businesses? What do you think? I believe it's good to open these debates because it's embarrassing that fast food restaurants and so-called fast casual food restaurants are becoming so expensive. In the end, you'll have the final word. Let us know what you think about it. Please do us a big favor and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next week on Foodnology. Thank you.